All right, this is the copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. And this video is not for any monetary gain. It is explicitly for the reasons stipulated in the Copyright Act of 1976 under Section 107.
Such a beautiful thing, mother and daughter sharing the same husband and baby daddy. You know, it's such a beautiful thing.
It's not often that a mom and daughter are pregnant at the same time, let alone by the same man, but we wouldn't want things to be any other way. So when I found out that my mom was pregnant and by the same man as me, you know, honestly it was unexpected because again, we weren't trying at all for a baby, but I don't think there was ever a moment in my mind where, you know, I was upset about it. It was pure joy and bliss for me, like to know that I get to carry a baby alongside the woman who birthed me, and that our baby's gonna share that, you know, DNA from the same man. And you know, he's been so supportive and sweet, and I couldn't imagine things any other way now.
I really crave the sweet and salty, and so I mean anything from potato chips dipped in ice cream to pizza drizzled with chocolate. I try to get Nick to.
This is something I've never seen before. It's a mother, a daughter, impregnated by the same man. And what are their names?
This is Nicole. Nicole, you want to say hi? She has a hiccup, so
My daughter is so beautiful.
she's adorable, and we love her so much.
And this is Nick Jr.
Nick Jr.?
Yes. My sweet boy.
Where did you find inspiration for that?
Oh, wow.
Nicholas.
Nicholas, yeah.
He's my junior.
I feel like that's every man's dream, is to name their child
For sure.
their first name
And he's
Junior.
a perfect boy.
Oh, he is such a good boy.
And we wanted to give Nicole some sort of, you know, a name that's kind of tied to Nicholas as well, because at the end of the day, you know, my mom and I both love Nick so much.
Yeah, the babies are also so tied together. They're literally like a month apart, you know?
Yeah.
So we wanted them to have that bond.
Second Esdras 15, verses 6 through 9, and it reads, verse 6, For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Verse 9, And therefore saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahachakodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barzal, a prophet of doom from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. And man, what you just saw is, just straight wickedness from Jake, um, impregnating a mother and daughter, which that is totally against the law, and he was very proud in doing it too. All right, so you got two things that happened here that I want to tackle with scripture. Number one, impregnating mother and daughter, show you that in the law, and then just a straight case where you know I'll get into it to where you know it's okay for Jake to it's lawful for Jake to have a heathen woman, but as long as that woman does not cause him to stray away from the law, statutes, and commandments and turn his away from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that's just going to lead to his death and destruction. All right. So let's go ahead and get it in the law. Yeah, but hey, this wickedness is getting out of hand. All right, this is Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 17. And it reads, "Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are near kinswomen. It is wickedness." All right, let me grab that in a blue letter too. Leviticus 18:17 in the NLT. Cause yeah, man, that's gonna be so much confusion, you know, to those kids, Um, all right, this is in the blue letter in the NLT. It says, "Do not have sexual relations with both a woman and her daughter." This is exactly what he did. "And do not take her granddaughter, whether her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter, and have sexual relations with her. They are close relatives, and this would be a wicked act." All right. Well, an abomination, which, hey, it brings death. And the precept to that is going to prove this. This is Leviticus 20 and 14. I'll get it in the KJV first. Verse 14 in the KJV. "And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you." All right, so yeah, that Jake, that act he did with that mother and daughter, all three of them are worthy to be put to death. All right, let's get it in the NLT. Slakia. It says, "If a man marries both a woman and her mother, he has committed a wicked act. The man and both women must be burned to death to wipe out such wickedness from among you." So yeah, that's that's pretty straightforward, man. And Jake doing around doing stuff to go viral and for likes. You know, just hey, you signed your own death certificate. All right, according to the scriptures. All right. Judges 5:11 tell us, we supposed to be rehearsing the righteous acts, in the places of drawing water or the places that we're in servitude, we're doing the best that we can. We know the law is not going to save us, but there are things that we definitely have control over. All right. And this is yet one of them, you know, purposely getting a mother and a daughter pregnant, you know, that's just foul, man. Like I said, it would bring a lot of confusion to those children, you know. Yeah. This is Deuteronomy. I'm gonna read the whole thing here because for the whole point. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, beginning at verse 1. All right. I'll get it in the other app. Deuteronomy 7 and 1. All right. Verse 1, and it reads, "When Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Verse 2, And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Here's the points 3 and 4. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Here's the point. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. All right. So even though this is talking about the land that we were going into, there's a stipulation when an Israelite man, marries, and we know marriage is sex, a non-Israelite or a heathen woman, that he does not turn away from the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. And like I said, this was at this time, but we saw the same thing happen with Solomon in First Kings chapter 11, verses 1 through 11. I'll go and get that account too. First Kings chapter 11, beginning at verse 1. And it reads, But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said unto the children of Israel, Ye should not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Okay? Your heart being your mind. It says, Solomon clave unto these in love, and he had 700 wives, princes, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. So here's the thing. This scripture here is twofold. Number one, the original point of turning away your heart away from the Lord, that you are disobedient to the law, statutes, and the commandments. And Solomon had all these wives and concubines, meaning according to our law, there's nothing wrong with multiple wives. Concubine is just a lesser wife, one who was of a heathen nation. All right. Verse 4 says, For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his power, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. Yeah, so yeah, he really went off. Okay, all right, caused him to be disobedient. And Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and went not fully after the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai as did David his father. Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burn incense and sacrifice unto their gods. And Yahweh Shai was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from Yahweh, power of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which was the Lord commanded. All right. Wherefore, Yahweh Shai said unto Solomon, For as much as this is done of thee, and has not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. All right. So, sacrificing to other gods, having other gods before the Lord, breaking the law, it's all the same. As the Lord said, if you're breaking the least of these, you've broken them all. All right. But in this day and age, Jake had control over the situation. All right. In no way did he have to get mother and daughter pregnant. All right. And here again, they're apparently Edomite women. All right, it's most a lot of Jake women ain't gonna be going for that. Mother and daughter, that's very, very rare. Very, very rare. All right, but in any case, that's the whole thing when it comes to women. Our women, number one, and then the women of other nations, especially. This is Proverbs 31:3. It says, "Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings." All right, and that's exactly what happened with Solomon here. All right, exactly what happened. All right, he gave his way, and what's our ways? The law, statutes, and commandments. All right, all of them. Like I said, keeping the law is not going to save us, but man, making an effort to stay obedient. You, I know for me, I feel a lot better. Knowing that I didn't willfully transgress. You know, that's that reverence I have for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But like the opening scripture said, wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And you just got a lot of Jake that don't care. And that was pure D wickedness, man. All right. That's exactly what happened with Solomon in 1 Kings 11, 1 through 11. Gave his strength, his ways, departed from the law. All right. And then, it's worse on us because the law was only given to us, according to Amos, not Amos, Psalms 147, verses 19 and 20. All right. Which is the reason why we are punished the worst for it, according to Amos 3, 1 and 2. All right. Yeah, this is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33. And it reads, "Why trimmest thou away to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked one thy ways." See, we have, the law, statutes, and commandments is our standard, you know, and like the scriptures say in the Lord's Prayer, on earth as it is in heaven. The laws of heaven are going to rule earth, when Yahweh comes back at the behest of Yahweh, King David, 144,000, and the innumerable multitude. All right. They're gonna come to us to learn how to conduct themselves. And when Jake does stuff like this, you know, that's why they look at us suspect, like they did to us in Lamentations. What was it in Ezekiel 25? Moab had the audacity to call us a heathen. You know, that's because we were going off. All right, and then we become the face of their bullshit. You know, yeah, that was just wicked, man. Wicked, impregnating mother and daughter at the same time. All right. This is First Esdras chapter 4, again in verse 26. And it reads, "Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes." All right. Yeah, Jake do stuff so backwards, man. He become, he start do that women worship stuff, We call it simp, being the simping out, at this level. Jake being a simp, worshiping these women, giving them what they want instead of being obedient to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. He says, "Many also have perished, have erred and sinned from women." And that's exactly what that Jake did, impregnating the mother and the daughter. All right. even though they're not Israelite women, the same law applies to you, Jake. That's why I said what it said in those scriptures. Let me go back to that Leviticus 20. And was it 14? Slakia. Yeah, it says, and if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. All right. So yeah, supposed to be taken out, all three of you. You know, Jake, and you you had the option of not going into mother and daughter. So once again, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well and teaching me this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be likened to the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, Abba Abba. Shalom. We got next.